Hello everybody, my name is Alex. There are a lot of scientists in the world that we don't know much. But one scientist that have a disease and know a lot about space and technology and science knew that this was going to be the best. And so he decided to write some books about it and tell it to everybody and made wonderful speeches about it, and also he is very, very confident. Now let's begin. So who is he? At first, I'll answer the question. He's Stephen Hawking. First, Stephen Hawking was born in the late 90s, about in the mid-90s also, and at that time, when he was 5 years old, he learned to read and write. But when he was 11 years old, he got sick, and then he couldn't get into college. He missed so much about college and physics. He loved math and science and physics. He entered a university with a delay about the Cambridge. And so, at that time, he was about 15 to 18 years old. But bad luck struck him when he was 21 years old. When he was 21 years old, he had suffered a disease from breathing. Although he also wrote lots of speeches, he still got around. By the time he couldn't give up and resist anymore, he think he was going to die. But he gave all his strength and lived for about 76 years. And so, that's it. And also he made many speeches and have wrote many books, such as the book George's Secret Key to the Universe, and a lot of other books. And also, he enjoyed with his wife Lucy Hawking, which they both together wrote many notes about it, even book reports. And so you can see that at a time when, Stephen Hawking was 40 to 50 years old, he decided to give up and tell everyone about a warning that the universe might come to an end. 60 to 70 years old, at that time, he gave the last warning to Donald Trump, which Donald Trump believed that global warming will never happen. And so, at that time, he suffered a lot of things. He died in about 2018, about 76 years old. Now that was crazy. But some people believe that, what about other questions about these of Stephen Hawking's life, such as why don't he live much longer and then have researched a lot more? Well, that is the question I'm looking for. If he had lived for one more year, then maybe he would have more time to say people the last warning to other people, so that everybody in the world can remember the facts about it. The facts about the universe, the facts about global warming, and the facts even about vaccines to invade us, or worst of all, the earth will turn into a ball of fire into 3012. And so we know that Stephen Hawking helps us a lot, and we know that Stephen Hawking is a normal scientist and is considered that his IQ is almost the IQ of. So you can see that he was the IQ of about Albert Einstein's IQ, and so that is it. Stephen Hawking is a very, very well-known scientist, which knows a lot more about the scientist about the universe. For example, he knew that there's one way that we can save someone from a black hole. Or he can research about all the things that will come to a disaster to us in his final speech. But his speeches are not as well a lot of information, and also his speeches well not quite popular to some people, but he is a very popular scientist which knows everything about the wonderful things about science, space, and a lot of more things. So now we know about Stephen Hawking and his life and death at first. But there are more questions about Stephen Hawking by now. It means that when he will find out and live one more year later, then he would have in the dark side, there might be a dark black hole coming toward us. But in the bright side, he can give more information to everybody. And let's review some of the things we have learned. Some of which we know that he loves math and science, and also when combined together is physics. What is physics, you ask? Physics is the amount of matter, mass, energy, speed of light, and a lot more. He like physics just like Albert Einstein, and also, but then he couldn't aboard the college, and then he have to skip and then can't turn into the university again anymore. But then he have troubled a disease of breathing, and so he have to then he have to talk in a computer because his nose and mouth can't resist that, and his vocal cords are being damaged, and he can't breathe. So he can turn into a wheelchair. And also, for Stephen Hawking's life, it's all we know about him, and also we'll never forget about the facts about him, and also a lot more things about him that we do not remember. But let's keep going on. We know that is the life of Stephen Hawking, but what other things do we know? Do we know that he was born in England and then just moved to New York City to aboard college and university, where he moved to London to New York? And also, did we notice that he also will get major painful and successful things after he lived for 1 year? That will come to a more likely thing, like a certain thing, that he will find out that there might be a black hole trying to come on us. He knew all about the facts about asteroids, comets, meteoroids, voyagers and satellites and rockets in space and probes in space. And the whole entire universe seems like a big place. Well, we have one more scientist to discover all of the facts about space. We might find out that Stephen Hawking is still one of the most famous scientists in the world. Much more about the IQ of Albert Einstein, and also Stephen Hawking have wrote many books and have gave little speeches. And also, we have find out that Stephen Hawking it have find out most of the information about the universe so that we can know, and a lot more comes about of Stephen Hawking. So we know the facts about Stephen Hawking. And Stephen Hawking is a famous scientist we know. He is also a student, a teacher, and even, a writer or an author who wrote many books. And he also helps us a lot. We know about him much. And also, we love the facts about him and his death, but he still continued about his disease of breathing, but he still continues to live about 76 years. He'll make a perfect location for us, and then if he lives for more years, I think that he will have information for us. And we know about Stephen Hawking. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening.